ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Thursday, June 25th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann, with our text line now open. 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. You can get in on the fun. We've got, I think, a good one today. Ellis is going to join us, Director of Basketball Operations. We'll get her on the program here in the next few minutes. Until then, we'll keep that text line open now and through the remainder of the show. It's going to be a busy day in sports because it's World Cup day for the United States. A game that means nothing, absolutely nothing, as Team USA has already won Group D. Instead, they're trying to stay undefeated, go in with a win, and they're taking on Turkey. Used to be known as Turkey. So if you've seen that and you're like, what is going on? You know, the world's catching up with the slight name change. And to be quite honest, would you like your country to be named after a bird that Americans eat on Thanksgiving? I don't think so. So United States and Turkey, or Turkiya, depending on your pronunciation, that will be the match tonight, 10 o'clock. Should be a interesting one here, because how many of the East Coast fans are going to be, well, if you're a soccer fan, you're probably staying up. I don't think the 10 o'clock start time East Coast is really going to impact this one. But these times are not set by anyone other than FIFA. So they're not looking at the charts and going, hey, what would be the best time to have a match that would get us the American audience? So none of that's going on. These things are being played, and you look at the times and dates, you're like, okay, all right, we'll go with it. So that's probably the big thing tonight. Earlier today, the most stressful baseball team this side of Cincinnati was in action. And we had the game for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Pirates actually won this one. You would have thought that it would have been an easy win, but Seattle kept making it interesting. But the Pirates win 5-1. Pirates had 8 hits. Mariners had 6 hits. Left a couple of innings out there, which you thought, oh, they're coming back. Here they go. This is going to be a Pirates loss. Instead, Pirates get the win. Now 41-40, 22-20 at home. Chandler gets the win on the mound. Back in action tomorrow. We'll have the game for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 as the Cincinnati Reds will make their way to PNC Park. So that should be a fun one. We go on the air at 6:15, Pirates baseball all season long right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Brewers got the better of the Reds yesterday, 6-5. And so today's the travel day for Cincinnati, obviously. And then the Guardians got the better of the White Sox, 4-3 in 10 innings. Guardians are off today. The other big item that I think we'll try to get into either today, or we'll definitely be talking about it as more and more the NIL landscape seems to have a change, or in this case, not changing, because a federal magistrate has basically shot down a lawsuit. And the judge shuts it down, and it's about MMRs and third-party brand sponsors. They got to go through the College Sports Commission, and so there was a challenge to this. And the judge basically denied a case and says, look, there might be some specific cases where this is not what we label it as. I'm completely paraphrasing here, but MMRs, multimedia rights holders, and third-party brands that are sponsors are associated entity. So what does that mean? College Sports Commission gets to continue to review those NIL deals. And the whole crux of the matter here was trying to find just another loophole to avoid what has become an NIL cap. Everybody's trying to find a way to bypass what I think is absurd to begin with, but bypass the multi-millions of dollars that now go to these insane NIL deals, which is basically another way of saying we're funneling money to players, but you still have to go through the commission. You still have to go through the process, and you just can't necessarily throw cash at everybody. There's a limit. There is a cap. And it seems to work in sports, right? Would we agree a cap works? It kind of keeps everybody sort of on the same page. It keeps everyone a little level. Is that fair to say? How do we respond with the big market teams that just spend and spend? How do we respond to that? And usually it's pretty negatively. And this involves companies like Learfield. They're not involved in this, but this involves companies like Learfield as well. Trying to find a way, or at least there are entities that are trying to find a workaround to not have to go through the College Sports Commission. And so that will continue. And of course, I thought there was a funny story I was looking at, just to kind of keep this into perspective. There was a funny story where, Pat McAfee loves to be outrageous. And he was spending a lot of money on the Jell-O shots, part of the Mountaineers trip to Omaha. Rich Rodriguez is like, Pat, I could use more NIL money. The Jell-O shots are cool, but I could use a little more NIL money. Why don't you look at giving me NIL money instead of spending that money on Jell-O shots? And you look at the landscape now. Is it going to get to the point where we're going to just transform completely how donations are given to the university? Like, we got to pay the players. Hey, we're looking for some donations for a new scoreboard. We're looking for donations for new seating. We're looking for a lot of donations. But are we going to see the transformation of how one day your donation is strictly for the NIL fund? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Some interesting things that are coming out today. We'll definitely go into it with a little bit more depth as we have a little bit more info on everything and how it's going to play out. When we continue, Ellis, Director of Basketball Operations, Marshall University, joins us when we continue on this edition of Your Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We apologize. Quick technical hang-up here. We'll get that resolved. But again, just to remind you, you're listening to The Drive. It is ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Ellis on the other side of the break.
Injured in a fall? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-678-9.
This is Huntington Mayor Patrick Farrell. The best part of any city isn't the buildings, it's the people. It's neighborhoods spending time together, families making memories, friends reconnecting on a summer evening. That's what Dog Dazzle is all about. Join us July 3rd at Harris Riverfront Park. Celebrate America's birthday. with food, music, community, and fireworks over the Ohio River. Because the best cities are built when people come together. Come celebrate America's birthday with us.
Train to push past the pain. Not athletes, just people. Men, women, and children trafficked every day in the United States. Sometimes by someone they trusted, sometimes by their own family. While millions watch the World Cup, they're fighting to survive in silence. Help us change that. Visit bluecampaign.gov/World Cup to help us break the silence.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Saving money on everything you need at Menards. Your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, and it enhances the appearance of your home's exterior. Owens Corning Duration Shingles offer ultimate protection. Choose from 26 stylish colors and transform your home today. Shop our selection of roofing products on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Here's another Kindred Communication Community Chatter. Marshall University's Huntington Alumni Chapter is hosting its 2026 Golf Tournament fundraiser. This raises money for scholarships for future Marshall students. This will be at Creekside Golf Course Friday, June 26th. Registration 7 a.m. Call Gene Chapin at 304-360-1023 to sign up.
This Cantor Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Kentucky Farmers Bank, a better banking summit, Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, and Wheelersburg. Online at KFB.bank.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue on with this Thursday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Last week, we had a chance to catch up with Peyton Ilderton. She has been promoted, or actually, she's got a new job. No longer is she just a scoring machine for the Thundering Herd. She's the assistant director of basketball operations. Well, who's going to be the director of basketball operations? Well, that job goes to Brianna Ellis. Bri Ellis is with us on the program, and it's good to get her back on. And that means a lot more job responsibility for you, a lot more on your plate. So I pretty much thought you were running the place anyway. So now does the title just reflect that?
Honestly, I don't feel like anything has changed. I feel like Jules does a great job of delegating responsibilities. So I think the only thing that's changed really is the title. But there are a little more responsibilities here and there. But nothing really feels different. It all feels the same. But with the addition of Peyton Ilderton and Trayshandra Williams joining us, I feel like I've got a whole army behind me. So it's been great, this transition has.
First of all, do I get to call her Jules, or is it Coach Folks? I mean,
of course.
I get to call her Jules? Okay.
Yes, any day but game day. Any day but game day. I have a lot of names for Jules, but on game days, it's usually Coach Folks or Boss Lady. I've started using Boss Lady more and more frequent. But, yeah, Jules is just like summertime vibes.
Okay, so I will refer to her in any interactions on game day as Boss Lady.
There you go. She likes that, too. She'll never admit it, but she does like it.
Okay, that's fair. You have any other names for her that you can share, or those pretty much, we can't do those in the air?
Yeah, you probably should keep those sealed up. But between Boss Lady and Jules, that's usually what we go by.
I love
Coach Folks sounds like foreign language to me, though.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Coach Folks, so formal with her. No, we're not.
Yeah, that's like foreign. She's too cool for Coach Folks.
As everyone knows, Brianna Ellis, we call her Bree because I get to. Bree is fun. Bree gets to do all the fun things with Marshall basketball, and she brings that with us.
I agree.
So let's start not about you. Let's talk about Peyton. She comes into the program, and she's one of those lifers. She gives everything she possibly can. She wanted to be here. She walks on. She stays the entire time. She has a tremendous finish to her playing career, and now she gets to at least see if this coaching thing is really for her. And that means giving her a position of being an assistant director of basketball operations. She gets to be around the team. She gets to kind of share what that culture is, because she was here before you and before Coach Folks, and she's been through the battle. So she is a Marshall lifer now, and you get to keep her around. What does she bring to this position, and what does she have to learn from you to be successful? Because you just don't wake up and go, you know what, I think I'm going to be a director of basketball operations today.
Sure. Well, I think you just nailed the nail on the head with everything that you said about P. There is not a better young woman to step into this role. Peyton's story is remarkable. It's admirable. It's all the things, because she embodies what, Marshall is all about, what Marshall women's basketball is about. And I'm just super excited to now get to work with her. Her leadership this past year has carried right over into the office. So I tell her she's hit the ground running. She doesn't really need to learn much from me. She'd probably be better off asking somebody else, honestly. But all jokes aside, she has hit the ground running. She has found her voice on the court now that the NCAA has changed so many rules as of recent. She gets to be hands-on, and she gets to coach. So her and Trey both coming off of their playing careers literally just months ago, it is really, really a great attribute for both of them, because they get to see the game from a different lens, and they are great teachers. So I think that's been the biggest help with their transition, is now they get to teach the ones who they played with, and even the newbies, about the zone and everything else, what it's supposed to look like. But the office dynamic, Peyton's just, she embodies everything. Like, she's a hard worker. She's kind. She's smart. She's all the things. So it was really a steal with Peyton. Like I said, she's way cooler than I am. Julie, she joked the other day about her announcement on social media. She said, "Man, you got way more press than I did when I got the job." But it just speaks leaps and bounds about who Peyton is, not just as a player and now coach, but she is a remarkable young woman. I could literally take this whole call and just tell you how great of a person that P is, and we are more than blessed to have her on staff with us now.
And of course, as I talked to her last week, I said you can still go, so you can get out there and kind of still go with the players. You're not that far, from your career being over, like just a few weeks.
Oh yeah, we actually introduced the press today, which we call Green, and she was she just started cheesing real hard, because as you guys know, just watching her, she was the front of our press, so she just got to cause chaos up there. So she was like, "Oh yeah, I still got it." So today we introduced the press and the press break. So that's another attribute that I didn't get to touch on. She also gets to, double as a practice player. So she gets to stay in shape, and obviously she knows what it looks like. I'm pretty sure I lost count of how many wide open threes she got today, but she still got it. She still got it. She's still heating it up from downtown, but now she gets to share it with the kids. And it's remarkable because they all look up to her, even though she's just a few months removed from her college career. The newbies, the freshmen, and even, the Cassie Ingrams of the world and those types of kiddos, they really look up to P. So she just has so much to offer and so much she brings to the table. So great addition to our staff.
Did she get any foul calls? What's the officials protecting her? What's
Oh
that
yeah,
like?
we protect the coaches at all costs now. So About, 3 or 4 months ago when we were still in practice, we just let them kind of beat the heck out of each other. But now that she's earned her stripes, we protect her at all costs.
Okay. I mean, I kind of have a feeling she's going to take that and use it to her advantage, bodying a few players. I don't know. Just like, hey,
for sure.
hey, newbie. That's how it goes.
Exactly. And anyone who has watched Peyton Ilderton knows that just because she may be the smallest on the court, she is darn sure the mightiest. So if I saw P, I would get out of her way immediately.
I'm not messing with her. Absolutely
sure.
not. Our guest is Brianna Ellis. She has been elevated to Director of Basketball Operations. So what does the Director of Basketball Operations do? What did the Assistant Director of Basketball Operations do?
For sure. And I think that question, may look different for every staff and every program around the country. But a little bit about what P and I get to do. I get to operate, literally. So as the director of ops, you just operate. So everything that involves travel, I get to work really close with Teddy and Big Green and Julie with our donor relations side. So lots of events. We've got our golf tournament coming up, but anything that's organized through fundraising and through Big Green, I get to have a big part of that. Scheduling is something that I've got to take on along with the other assistants, but for sure, just like the operations through travel and things like that, the biggest thing with our flights and hotels and things like that. So that is the responsibility that's changed the most in my role, is making sure that through the season, all of our operations as far as our travel and our hotels and our buses and things like that are in line. I would say that that's the biggest thing. But like I had made mention earlier in the broadcast, that now there are, little to no rules as far as coaching and teaching. So also being able to instruct on the court and coach the girls also. So that's definitely something that Julie has trusted me with in elevating me to this position, is actually being more hands-on on the court. So going into year 3 and finally getting in a groove of learning Julie's system and her culture and all the things, just being confident in this role as an instructor on the court as well. So,
all right, I'm going to get real deep with you now, just to give you the warning. Okay, so you mentioned year 1 to year 3 now. Where you think that you have grown the most?
Wow. I think it's fair to say that anyone who knows me knows that I'm a big ball of energy. I love to have fun. I'm a very outspoken person. But believe it or not, I think the confidence in instructing has grown. I think my public speaking in front of bigger crowds and in air quotes, I say it relatively important people, professionals, getting in front of them and speaking in a professionally and confident way. Because Julie has let me sit in rooms with very, very prestigious people, not just on Marshall's campus, but, in the college athletics world. So just finding that inner confidence and professionalism to instruct, but also, instruct in other sittings, whether it be an operations meeting or it be a budget meeting or things like that. So I definitely think the confidence and the professionalism is where I've grown the most.
What do you think that you still need to work on? Is that something that you've identified? Because we're always trying to grow. So what's that thing that, as you take on these new responsibility, what's the one thing, or what's the thing you want to get better at?
For sure, I would definitely say the technical piece, as far as like technology and things like that. I've been doing ops a certain way that works for me, but it may not be as effective and efficient for other counterparts like the assistants and things like that. So just like the technology piece, we all have an AI training, a department-wide AI training coming up, because, technology is just ever-changing and it's always evolving. So just understanding, being more efficient with technology and things like that. But I think that's where I really want to continue to get better at, because ChatGPT is not my friend, unlike other people. So just learning and being more comfortable. I like to call myself old school. I'll get out a piece of paper and a pen and write down everything. But as you know now, that probably isn't the most effective with my time or efficiency. So just like the more technology use and using certain softwares and databases that have been afforded to us through the department is somewhere that I'd like to grow, especially being elevated into the ops role.
I'm going to let you in on a ChatGPT secret because I got the email like 2 days ago.
Sure.
This is the subject of the email. Turn notes into next steps.
There you go.
Just take your note, write them old school. I'm old school too with the pen and paper, and just take a photo, and you don't even have to key that stuff in anymore. Come on, you know better.
For sure. I get a little freaked out when I see like people turn into animations. That kind of freaks me out. So I try to stay away from ChatGPT because when I see like myself as a cartoon or I see myself as a different person, I'm like, okay, now this is getting out of hand. But again, I think AI is a great tool. I think it's going to be a great tool moving forward for college athletics. So definitely just like being confident and understanding how to use the software properly.
What's maybe a tangible example of what AI looks like in helping a basketball program for you or for Marshall University? I know we're still at the forefront of all this.
For sure. I would say the biggest area right now, since we are in the summertime, recruiting, you can now just plug in kids' names and it will give you stats. It will give you all the things. So that helps us a lot when creating schedules to go out recruiting and things like that. It saves us tons of hours instead of having to look up kids one by one. We can just plug their names in. We can plug in their high schools. We can plug in their AAU teams. And we can create our own schedules for upcoming tournaments and things like that. So it does eliminate a lot of time as far as creating schedules for recruiting, especially during our live periods and things like that. So it definitely helps Cassie Lastifka out, our recruiting coordinator, so she can just plug things into ChatGPT and it will create our own schedules, what courts they're playing on, what times they're playing and things like that. So it really blows my mind. And then eventually we have so many softwares for, scouting reports and things like that. So eventually I believe that some of these major software companies like Huddle and Synergy and things like that will be, no longer in the future because all you'll have to do is plug certain things into ChatGPT or, another AI software, and it'll just regurgitate everything you need, including stats and how to guard this player and things like that. So we're starting to see bits and pieces of it already, and it's helped us tremendously, but it's only going to get more efficient and more effective in the future.
I want to follow that up because I believe it's a tool. I don't want to just turn over everything to it, and I would think that you are probably the same way. How do you keep the advantage? How do I keep the advantage of being Bree Ellis and not let this just take over?
For sure. Well, I think there's no price tag on personality, and there's no price tag on culture either. There's so many things that you can plug into, AI softwares and things like that. But when it comes down to it, an AI generated coach, I don't think will be very successful. I think that as far as the statistics and the analytics side of college athletics, not just for basketball, but football and soccer and things like that, anything that you can track analytically will be great for AI softwares. But when it comes down to what's your culture going to be like? How do I coach this kid? No one wants, to do an online visit. Kids still want to come to campus and see who they're playing for and things like that. So there are a lot of tangible things that, softwares cannot compete with. But unfortunately, I think that there are going to be a lot of people who, are out of jobs in the future. But I think that coaches will be safe. The good ones will be safe. The smart ones will be safe. But I think that there are just so much more things that are important to building a program and keeping it afloat than just AI software. But I do think it's an amazing tool, and I look forward to using it in the future.
I was curious how you marry the two, because Yeah, there's only one Brianna Ellis. She joins us, the director of basketball operations. I mean, I don't think we can replicate you in ChatGPT. I don't think we have a data center large enough to do that. I mean, it's fair.
Well, I sure as heck hope not. But I do think it's a great tool. I think it's efficient and I think it's effective. But I think in college athletics, the staff is always going to be what drives the kids to come to campus. We've got NIL, we've got all these things, we've got all these other components in college athletics nowadays. But at the end of the day, parents and kids, whether they say it or not, or if they're forthcoming with it or not, they just want to find a home and they want to find a place where their kids are safe and their kids can grow and where their kids can get a good education. So I know that it gets muddled because of NIL and how much money kids are making. But at the end of the day, I think that good culture is going to reign supreme. And I think it'll take care of itself. The kids who, are after big bucks, they'll find their home also. It just may look different than a kid who wants to come to Marshall, get a great education, be backed by a great community, and also get, the benefits of rev share and NIL and things like that. So I think Marshall is the sweet spot. We get the best of both worlds because we can compete at the highest level, but also get really, really good kids who want to stay at Marshall for 4 or 5 years.
Our guest is Brianna Ellis. She has been named the Director of Operations for Marshall Women's Basketball. Always a delight to have her on the program. So before we let you go, you've been super busy. You've been all across the country. And, of course, you've been sporting that WNIT championship shirt probably everywhere you've been.
For sure.
Do we have the rings yet? What do we got? Because you got to look good when you go and talk to the kids and recruits.
Yeah, for sure. I will say I hope there are no Redbirds tuned into the broadcast, but I wore it proud this past weekend during the Scholastic period. So I was at home in Columbia, Missouri at a big live period in Columbia, and the Illinois State Redbirds walked right past me, and I had on the biggest, brightest championship shirt that I could find. So that felt a little good. Again, no shade to the Redbirds if they're, tuned into this broadcast, but it's been fantastic. Big shout out to Teddy and Big Green. He's helped us with the renderings of the rings. So we have decided on a design. All of the coaches and support staff are fitted for them. So we are just waiting for them to arrive.
Nice. And, of course, those are always nice to show off, especially when you're abroad. And your next visit, yeah, I'm sure you'll have that ring just ready to go.
For sure. The trophy has definitely been a great piece to add to our photo shoots when kids come on. So we've had 2 2027 kids come on official visits already, and they've got to use that big old hefty trophy as a prop in their photo shoot. So it definitely helps us out with recruiting as well.
My guest is the Director of Basketball Operations for Marshall University Women's Basketball, Brianna Ellis. Hey, before I let you go, anything coming up you want people to know about? Anything you want to shout out about?
For sure. I was told by our good friend Ryan Chris
Love
that
him.
Tickets are already on sale for women's basketball. There is an early bird special going on right now. I'm not sure exactly when it ends, but go get your tickets now because they're on sale for a discounted price. And also stay tuned. We've got some huge non-conference games on our schedule. It hasn't been released yet, but be on the lookout for our schedule to be posted in a couple of weeks. Just tying up some loose ends with contracts and such. But I was told to make note that there are going to be some major non-conference games on our schedule that you guys will want to tune into.
You can give me one, right? Just one?
I can't do that, but maybe off the broadcast.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. And, of course, I'm trying to press Ryan for the cup designs for the collector's cups at football. And I'm thinking, Jules, as we now call her, that WNIT photo maybe with everybody. I think that's that's one, right? Collector's cup.
For sure. I don't think that's too much of an ask. But sometimes Ryan Chris wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, so we'll have to catch him on a good day. Maybe Friday going into the weekend.
He's right there with you, isn't he?
I told him to tune in, so hopefully he's somewhere listening.
I think that would be a great idea, though, to do a WNIT Champions Collectors Cup, because once upon a time I went to a Marshall, Tennessee game. And, of course, Tennessee is known for what? Women's basketball.
There you go.
I get in there at the stadium. They've got collector cups. Is it of the football team? No. Is it of the men's basketball team? No. It's the women's basketball team. That's the collector's cup for. Yeah, the Lady Vols.
Does not surprise me one bit.
I'm thinking that should be the standard here at Marshall University. The collector's cup. I go to a football game. It's you, it's Boss Lady, it's P, it's everybody.
For sure. Yeah. But I've got high hopes for our Thundering Herd this year also. Coach Gibson is doing a great job. I've had, the pleasure to go over and see some of their workouts and things like that. So Coach Gibby is getting them ready to rock and roll. So I'm excited for the Herd also.
I think we're going to have a great season. My guest is Brianna Ellis. Always a pleasure to have her on this show. And again, I'm waiting for her just to come in and take over the show, as after all, you're no stranger to the microphone.
For sure.
You should come in. Take over.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely do it. We'll have to do a collab sometimes. I'll put that in my contract. Other duties as assigned.
Okay. Just get that clear with Ryan Chris first, right?
Yeah, we might be waiting a long time if it's up to him.
Absolutely. Good talking to you. We'll do it again soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Go Herd.
That is Brianna Ellis, Director of Basketball Operations, and just one of the most energetic and entertaining people that you want to know. We will get your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And, of course, also she upheld the tradition of taking shots at Ryan Crisp. It's all in good fun. Or is it? More coming up on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington 9th Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, June 26th, it's K&B Pest Control Night with Riley Babst on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy 9th Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station, featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's at Pullman Square. July 10th, enjoy the music of the Beatles with the Newbies. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kendrick Communications.
Hey, Lex, I got a question for you about our friends over at K&B Pest Control.
Shoot.
Do you think they'll eliminate my mother-in-law?
I think so.
She's in the house, kind of pesky.
From what I understand, they'll kill for your business, so you might want to have a talk.
No, these guys are great, man. Locally owned and operated in Huntington, West Virginia, serving the tri-state area. Free estimates, highly skilled staff. There's specialized training and inspections and solutions. So no matter what's going on, they'll figure it out. They'll find out where these pests are coming from, and they will eliminate them.
Yep, and you can even do comparisons with their Facebook page. They got real pest pics. This is when the critters start coming out, Terrence, so if you're seeing problems like they have on their Facebook page, call 304-523-4281.
Go ahead and ask for Patrick or Becca. They will hook you up. We promise you it's KNBPestControl.com. Go ahead and hit them up online as well. K&B Pest Control, they will kill for your business.
Trust the guys with over 40 years of experience at K&B Pest Control.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information information by dialing 800-319-3687. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m. to give Dad his medicine. Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m. to give Dad his medicine. At 6 a.m., I make his breakfast. Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m. to give Dad his medicine. At 6 a.m., I make his breakfast. At 7 a.m., I shower. Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m. to give Dad his medicine. At 6 a.m., I make his breakfast. At 7 a.m., I shower. I start laundry at 8. At 10, we go for a walk. Every day, I wake up at 5 a.m.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers for advice, tips, and support. Together, let's help each other better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Oh.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What? I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talkline, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, 10:06, it is Metro News Talkline. Tomorrow's Friday, so Steam Release. Get it off your chest. Tune in tomorrow for Dave, for TJ, and return of Steam Release. Our sort of everyday version of that is our text line, 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Texter writes in and says, please let it be WVU. Please let it be WVU. Please let it be WVU women's basketball. Appreciate the text. That would be a pretty big get, right? The Mountaineers have done a tremendous job with their women's program, and that would be a really nice get. And, of course, there are a lot of people who think the two schools should be playing. There's a lot of people that think that the two schools should not be playing. I don't know where you're at this moment right now. For the most part, the friction has usually been football, men's basketball. I would say probably women's basketball. Everything else, though, I don't think there's much friction there. Baseball, there's no friction in my knowledge. Soccer, obviously, is a conference opponent. Tennis, there's no friction there. And so you go down the list and you look at some of the sports and you go, well, there's really no friction here. It's just the major revenue sports where the friction is. So, I mean, that's a possibility. Who knows? Neutral site location again? Is that something in the cards? Of course, I don't know if I would want that, to be honest. I get the whole idea of the concept of, hey, you play in Charleston, it's the Capital Classic, it's a neutral location. All right, you can pitch that to me all you want there. But no, I like the old, hey, we'll play at your place, you play at our place kind of deal here for basketball. I got no problem whatsoever with that arrangement. You want to throw Charleston a bone every now and then, that's fine. I get it. But again, just because Brianna Ellis, who's with us, director of basketball operations, said there's some pretty big non-conference games coming up on the schedule. Somebody wants to jump and say WVU. I don't know. Is it in the cards? You never know. You never know. But whatever the case may be, I'm hoping that it's a pretty exciting non-conference schedule before you get into Sun Belt play. Our text line again is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We went a little long with Brianna Ellis, so we're going to step aside for our final break. Come back. We will take text the rest of the way on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Injured in a wreck? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
A celebration 250 years in the making. It's Dog Dazzle 2026. Friday, July 3rd at Harris Riverfront Park. Dog Dazzle 2026 featuring West Virginia legend Kathy Mattea.
18 wheels and a dozen roses.
Plus, special guests Ben Whiskey and Brett Mahon with the Tri-State's largest fireworks. Gates open at 5 p.m. Enjoy inflatables, ice-cold drinks from the Smokin' Jay's beer tents, food trucks, fun and family all night long. Dog Dazzle with Kathy Mattea. Get to 937thedog.com for free ticket locations. America 250. Dog Dazzle 2026. Bark on with Kathy Mattea. Friday, July 3rd. Get to Jerks at Pullman Square for the official after-show party. Dog Dazzle 2026. Presented by Gomart, Austin's Homemade Ice Cream, K&B Pest Control, Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Busch Light, the City of Huntington, the Campbell County Commission, Little Caesars, Gomart, Great Outdoors Marine, Thoroughbred Express Wash, Blinko Glass Company, Wendy's, Tudor's Biscuit World, West Virginia Appalachian Laborers District Council, Xfinity, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Twisted Tea, Incova, Kendrick Communications, and 93.7 The Dog.
Saving money on everything you need at Menards. Your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, and it enhances the appearance of your home's exterior. Owens Corning Duration Shingles offer ultimate protection. Choose from 26 stylish colors and transform your home today. Shop our selection of roofing products on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hometown Chevrolet, your home of the new 30-mile-per-gallon Chevy Trax and the new 3-row SUVs like the Traverse, Tahoe, and Suburban. Everything you need right here at home. Want a new truck? We have 0% financing for a full 5 years on new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s and free oil changes for life at your hometown Chevy dealer. Our used inventory is priced to move with the quality you want at a payment that makes sense. From low APRs to rebuilding, we'll get you done. Hometown Chevrolet, Waverly, Ohio, where everybody drives home.
Feeling ready for a change? The Women Warrior Summit returns Friday, October 23rd in Huntington, West Virginia. This year, we'll explore the power of reinvention with stories about growth, change, and beginning again. Visit WomenWarriorSummit.com to learn more.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue now delivers straight to your door. Wings, ribs, brisket, and more. Order online at WVBBQ.com. Great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings. All without leaving your couch. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, 3rd Avenue in Huntington.
Our Kendrick Communications family of stations remind you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Reyes Mexican Tanqueria and Cantina. Authentic flavors from Jalisco, Mexico. 234 3rd Avenue in Gallipolis, Ohio, and 218 General Hardinger Parkway in Middleport. The Arbors of Gallipolis, caring about you while caring for you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kathleen Eubanks-Ming with the American Academy of Family Physicians. Bullies use power, strength, or popularity to hurt others emotionally or physically. And while you can't be with your child all the time, there are ways you can help. If your child encounters a bully, tell them to get to a safe place and tell an adult. You can also show them how to block online bullies. Teach them they can be more than a bystander and that they can help their peers. For more on bullying, visit familydoctor.org or talk with your family physician.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Thursday edition of Your Drive. Our text line, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, is 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. We had a couple of people text in earlier about some of the potential non-conference opponents coming up for the Marshall women's basketball team. Someone said, hoping it was WVU. Texter responds to that and says, Paul, and I was talking also about, mostly the revenue sports, the big ones have a little bit more friction than the other sports like tennis, soccer. Well, soccer is conference, but some of those sports don't have problems scheduling against one another. Texter says, Paul, Dan mad, Huggy mad. So that ended men's hoops game. But new men's coaches now. Plus, Gibby and Rich Rod are buddies. Bring back all the games. Appreciate the text. I don't think Rich Rod is playing that game. Absolutely not. That game's not happening. There's no way it's happening. I don't see it. Will it come back one day? Let's see. I might be young enough to see it happen. I might have enough life in me. I don't know. That's a big one there. That's a big ask. And my reading of the room is there are a lot of people they want to see that game. There are a lot of people just like, look, no, we're good. We don't need it. I don't know where you fall on that, but I'm of the mindset that if it benefits both, do it. If it doesn't benefit both, let's move on. Let's move on because Marshall's got to do its own thing and make sure that it's doing what's best for its athletic department. And I don't think you take bad deals just to play a game like that. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255, the text line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I love how the texter said, Dan mad, Huggy mad. I like the guy. I'm not going to say that too loud, but I liked Huggy. I had no real problem with Huggy. Never. He was always polite and professional to me. I don't know. That's not the basis of anything, but, he was professional. He did his job. He didn't look at me like, there's a Marshall guy asking a question. No, see, he was cool. I had no problem with Huggy whatsoever. And I've told the story before. I've seen him interact with Marshall fans, and he's been a pretty good guy. And of course, he was at a Marshall game recently, right? So, come on. I got no problem whatsoever with Huggy. That mustard suit I had a problem with, but nothing else. I mean, I get it. That was a bold fashion choice he made, that mustard yellow-looking suit he wore. You don't see coaches wear suits as much anymore, to be honest. I say we bring it back. We absolutely bring it back. Texter says, typo, Dan made Huggy mad with some of his comments. That changes the entire text there. I liked it the original way. Dan mad, Huggy mad. I kind of like the typo version better. Okay, let me correct that so we do not misrepresent anyone on the text line. I appreciate the comments and the correction. That's going to do it. Thanks for being a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Special shout out to Brianna Ellis. She's the Director of Basketball Operations at Marshall University. She does a fantastic job for the women's team. And she's also always so willing to come on and talk to us about the Herd. So she is one of our favorite guests. So we'll have her back soon. Thanks for everyone being a part of today's show. We're going to do it again tomorrow with our Friday edition right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.